there, folks. Brian here from Adventures with Miss Vicky. Well, I finally got my way around to editing the last footage I have from North Carolina and made a little video about our trip back from Raleigh to Kansas as the first leg from Raleigh to Jackson, Tennessee. You noticed I said our trip back. I had a Copilot. Nancy flew back with me to Kansas, so that was a lot of fun. She's getting to be a pretty good co-pilot. But it was a good flight. Had to work our way around some weather between Raleigh and Jackson, but it was a smooth ride at 8,500 feet. And we got to Jackson, the weather was deteriorating, and we had thought that we might end up spending the night in Jackson, but as it turned out, we ended up spending 3 nights. But as Nancy always done, she turned crappy into happy. We rented a car and explored Tennessee, drove down to Memphis, and took in Beale Street and had a good time. So without further ado, let's climb in the cockpit and head from Raleigh Executive in North Carolina to McKellar Sipes Airport in Jackson, Tennessee. Hope you enjoy the flight, and if you like it, give me a thumbs up. Thanks. Bye. Clear prop. Run up, finish the checklist, quick takeoff briefing for Nancy, and we're ready to go. Nancy always has a few words of encouragement and a pat for Miss Vicky when we're headed out on a long flight. So we're on course, climbing to 8,500, picked up flight following from Raleigh departure. Jackson, here we come. This looks a lot more like broken instead of the forecasted scattered, but no worries, a lot of clear sky to the north, but we've got another layer up in front of us that's going to prove to be a little bit more challenging, I think. As we approached Knoxville, we finally came out over this layer, but I could see the next clouds up in front of me. One more layer to go over before we got to Jackson. And as forecasted, the convective activity was starting to increase between Knoxville and Jackson. Tops were getting up around 14,000 feet, but it was a really smooth ride at 8,500, but we did have to do quite a few deviations to remain VFR. But before you know it, we were letting down into Jackson. And here we are on base leg coming into Jackson. You can see the weather still isn't real wonderful, but we launched in the morning knowing that we might have to remain overnight in Jackson, hopefully to get out to Wichita the next morning. Little did I know that we would be stuck in Jackson for 3 days waiting for a weather window to make it home to Wichita. That's how we did that. Can't say enough for the folks at the FBO at McKellar Sipes. Great little FBO, arranged a rental car for us, got Miss Vicky in a hangar so she wouldn't get rained on and blown over for the next 3 days. So it's a great stop if you ever get a chance.